bloated, brain fog, reflux, how I fixed my SIBO and SIFO with vitamin C. So you're bloated and foggy and you're burping like your dad after a Christmas dinner. You can't sleep, your belly's ballooning and your brain feels like it's buffering. So you Google your symptoms and what do you get? Take Gaviscon. Try this high fibre cereal. Here's a probiotic filled with sugar. No one states the obvious. Your gut is simply fermenting in the wrong place. You might be suffering from something that your doctor's never even heard of, a condition that I learned from Dr. Sarah Myhill and Dr. William Davis, both absolute experts on gut health and now used by many functional doctors. And the expression that they use is the upper fermenting gut. And it could be quietly wrecking your health from the inside out. Let's break it down. And don't worry, I'll keep it simple and clear and free of Latin unless absolutely necessary. I'm Emma Voysey, I'm a health coach and gut repair enthusiast after fixing my own issues. In this video, I'm going to show you how vitamin C isn't just for colds, it can reset your digestion as well. I'm going to give you that fabulous view right over the top of Andorra la Vella. There we go, there's the capital city of my little country, the Principality of Andorra. Chapter 1, what is an upper fermenting gut? Here's the idea. You eat a meal and instead of your body quietly digesting it like a well-oiled machine, the food hits a crowd of bacteria and yeasts that aren't supposed to be there. They start fermenting it right there in your small intestine or maybe even in your stomach. And if the food's hanging around too long, so some can even ascend into your esophagus, which is right up here. So these microbes, which should be living peacefully down in your colon, which is the last 5 feet of your digestive tract, the big fat part of your intestines, thought to be due to our chemical and sugar-laden poor quality diet, now we've got squatters in the small intestine and the digestion becomes sluggish, and due to a host of other factors caused again by poor diet, antibiotic use, medication use generally, perfect conditions for bacteria to hang out, hide and proliferate. That fermentation creates gas, hello bloating, burping, trapped wind, alcohol, yes really we're going to get onto that, and toxins like hydrogen sulfide and D-lactate, which literally poison our mitochondria, which are the energy centres, the little powerhouses in our cells. Chapter 2, quick sciencey explanation, the gassy culprits, hydrogen and methane. So when these bacteria and yeast start fermenting carbs in your small intestine, they don't just make a bit of air, they produce hydrogen and methane, 2 gases that can seriously disrupt your digestion. Hydrogen is notorious for causing bloating, cramps, and that horrible feeling like your belly's a balloon about to pop. Methane, on the other hand, actually slows down your gut motility, meaning the food hangs around even longer to ferment, creating this vicious cycle. Dr. William Davis warns that methane-dominant overgrowth can lead to chronic constipation and sluggish digestion. Dr. Myhill adds that when these 2 gases mix with other microbial byproducts like hydrogen sulfide and D-lactate, you get this perfect storm of bloating, fatigue, toxic overload, and this is poisoning your mitochondria. I suffered from this condition so badly for 10 years, and it just got progressively worse no matter what I did, until I finally found the answer and then I fixed everything. So this microbial mutiny explains foggy brain after meals, swollen belly by mid-afternoon, exhaustion despite eating cleanly, feeling weirdly hungover after eating carbs, even without touching any alcohol. I knew I had this condition because I bought myself the methane and hydrogen breath testing device from Food Marble. And I tested myself every day for 2 years. If you suspect this might be your condition or your situation as well and you'd like to test yourself, I've left a link down in the description to the Food Marble gadget and I'll show you the box in a minute. I tested myself daily for months and months whilst following Dr. Davis's protocols, and it wasn't until I had the great fortune to come across Dr. Sarah Myhill's teachings that I finally began to fix everything. Dr. Sarah's on the board of my college in London. She also practices from her home in North Wales. You can check out her website. It's very comprehensive. And her supplement range is also really excellent and reasonably priced if you live in the UK. I don't think she ships outside the UK. So there's the box. I would show you the gadget too, but I haven't used it in ages, and I've lost it. It's at home somewhere. Look, it looks like that. It looks like that little thing there that person's holding in the hand. So, chapter 3, Auto-Brewery syndrome, not just a meme. Dr. Myhill calls this chaos Auto-Brewery syndrome because, yes, the yeasts and the bacteria in your gut are literally turning yesterday's croissant into booze. When those microbes ferment, she says, you get horrible things like alcohol, D-lactate, hydrogen sulfide, and they all poison the mitochondria. This is really serious stuff. I'll repeat that for dramatic effect. It's serious. They are poisoning your mitochondria. It's like having your very own microbrewery making craft beer right under your ribcage. No fancy tap room, no happy hour, just the hangover and none of the fun. And here's a quick science sidebar. Which rogue roommate is squatting in your small intestine? So you've got the culprit, SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. The bacteria sneak north, pump out hydrogen and methane. That leads to bloating, pain, and IBS-style chaos. You've got your SIFO, that's small intestinal fungal overgrowth. Yeast, often candida, set up shop, equaling sugar cravings or leading to sugar cravings, histamine flares, and brain fog. And then you've got your auto-brewery syndrome, the extreme sequel, mostly yeast that ferment carbs into actual ethanol. Another one? Yeah. Boy. Good boy. So chapter 4, here's the bite-sized version. Same house, different squatters. If you've got SIBO or SIFO and you keep feeding them carbs, you're on the fast track to auto-brewery syndrome, feeling mildly hungover after a meal. And that includes carbs from fermented foods. So I was shoveling down the Supergut yogurt like it was going out of fashion. And my readings on that on the little breath tester were still high, always. I never saw anything other than the highest reading, always in the red, because I hadn't got rid of the bugs first. And if you just suppress them, they will just flare up again, given any given opportunity. So, fun and slightly scary fact, Dr. William Davis estimates that 1 in 3 Americans is already living with SIBO. That's tens of millions of bloated, brain foggy, microbiome hostages walking around undiagnosed. And if 1 in 3 Americans is suffering from this, then I think we can make a pretty educated guess to say that it's going to be a similar story elsewhere. With that in mind, let's see why your GP or MD probably never mentioned any of this. So why does mainstream medicine miss it? The NHS, which is the National Health Service in the UK, will tell you that acid reflux, take omeprazole, or here's a Rennie. Functional bloating, it's just part of getting older. IBS, aka, we don't have a clue. Anxiety, aka, it's all in your head. Functional doctors like William Davis, who wrote Wheat Belly and Supergut, have been warning us for years. We're facing a microbial mutiny. The bacteria and the yeasts have risen from the colon, from the large intestine, the last 5 feet of your digestive tract, into the small intestine, and now they're fermenting sugars where they absolutely have no business to even be. I followed Dr. Davis's protocol for 2 years. I did the yogurts, the prebiotics, I cut out all the grains. It helped, sort of, but it didn't clear everything up, and I still had those high breath test readings. It wasn't until I followed Dr. Sarah's protocol with vitamin C that I finally cleaned house. And vitamin C therapy has been around since nearly on 100 years. It was discovered by a Hungarian scientist whose name was Albert Szent Györgyi, probably horribly mispronounced that, who first isolated it from the adrenal glands and then later from paprika. And then scurvy, it was discovered that it could be effective for scurvy in the 1930s, and then Albert won a Nobel Prize for his work in 1937. Chapter 5, my journey from bloat to balance. So for 2 years in my early 50s, I'd used Dr. Davis's protocols, and I managed my symptoms. It wasn't as bad as it'd been for the last 10 years, but they always came back. And those gas readings on the little food marble gadget, they were just never coming down. And I started to feel, after 2 years, starting to feel a little bit hopeless about this. I had a leaky gut. Bacteria were leaking into my bloodstream, setting up camp all over my body, which resulted in achy joints, foggy head, itchy dry skin, weight gain, and gain. I mean, I was becoming round. Poor sleep. The painful bloating was really off the scale and had by now become this daily occurrence. Low stomach acid, which is technically known as hyperchlorhydria, isn't just always just about aging. It can also happen when bacteria and yeasts have crept up where they don't belong. And when microbes overgrow in the upper gut, they ferment too soon, too early. This should only be happening much later on down in your bottom of your digestive tract. And they produce these gases that put pressure on the stomach. That pressure can weaken the valve at the top of your stomach called the lower esophageal sphincter, or LES, which is basically like a trap door that keeps food and acid in your stomach instead of it all sloshing back up into your throat. So over time, your body may actually reduce stomach acid production, a condition called hyperchlorhydria, as a protective response to all this chaos. So in many cases, low acid and these digestive issues go hand in hand, not because you're getting older, which is usually blamed on, but because your digestion's been hijacked by the wrong microbes in entirely the wrong place. And you can easily test yourself at home for hypochlorhydria or low stomach acid. It's a really easy test and it's simple and cheap. You just take bicarbonate of soda, the same stuff you use for baking, put half a teaspoon into a glass of water, drink it down on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, and within 2 minutes you should start bringing up gas, burping or belching, and that's because of the action of the bicarbonate on your stomach acid, or the action of your stomach acid on that bicarbonate of soda. If you don't belch, then you can suspect that you are suffering from low stomach acid or hyperchlorhydria. So if that weren't enough, this bacterial overgrowth can also damage the lining of your small intestine, which will lead to a leaky gut. Now, a leaky gut, this is tiny little gaps. So your gut wall should be nice and snug with no gaps in it. But when these little gaps open up and start letting food particles and toxins and microbes slip into your bloodstream, because there's only one cell wall thickness between, the wall of the gut is one cell thick, and behind that is your bloodstream. So between your bloodstream and really your sewage system, one cell thick. Now, when you start getting a leaky gut, and that gut, which should be like a nice hose pipe, and instead it's now like a leaky sieve, this is going to set off inflammation and immune reactions, unexplained painful joints, and it can make digestion even less efficient, creating this vicious cycle that keeps you feeling bloated and foggy and exhausted and unwell. You're eating all the good stuff, you're looking after yourself, you're exercising regularly, it's a healthy diet, you buy the expensive organic foods, and you're still knackered. You're so tired, exhausted, and all the other symptoms are there, and everything's just getting worse. And that's where I found myself. Chapter 6, the turning point for me. It was Dr. Sarah Myhill's vitamin C flush, not for immunity, but to flush the upper gut. Paired with a short carnivore-style elimination phase, it changed everything. Gave me a flat belly, clear skin, stable mood, clear head, joints feeling stronger, proper fat loss, run out of fingers. This wasn't just about my digestive health, this was about reclaiming my whole body. But it's all linked, and I now believe it all starts with the digestion. So coming up next, I'm going to walk you through how this mess happens, why your food choices and your lifestyle are feeding the chaos, and what I did to fix it. And no, probiotics and fibre are not going to save you, not yet. Let's get into it. Chapter 7, how we created the perfect gut storm and how to fix it. Right, so how does an upper fermenting gut actually happen? Let's start with the basics. Your digestive system should work like a well-run airport. So the food arrives, it gets broken down by acid and enzymes, nutrients are absorbed, leftovers head down to the colon where the microbes ferment and finish the job. But what if the guards at security fall asleep? Chapter 8, Modern Life, a buffet for the wrong bugs. So morning, you've got your toast, your cereal, your overnight oats, your low-fat yogurt, fruit juices. Mid-morning, more healthy fruit, rice cakes, muffins, that lovely little slice of homemade cake just because someone in accounts has got a birthday and they brought it in and made it specially. Lunch, it's a wrap or a low-fat soup, something quick, light and simple because you're on the go. Or you skip it because you're being good. And then often your biggest meal of the day ends up being pasta or curry, rice, wine, dark chocolate in the evening. Every meal feeds bacteria, but you're feeding the wrong ones. You create this perfect storm for microbial overgrowth. They migrate up into the small intestine, they make gas, they trigger bloating, they release toxins, and they leave you foggy and anxious and tired and achy and nauseous and fat and craving sugar like a junkie. It's not your fault. It's just because we've been given totally the wrong diet advice for the last 40 years. And I'm filming now at Engelasters Lake, which is not far from Andorra-la-Vella, the capital. It's so beautiful here and it's such a gorgeous day. So chapter 9, a few bonus ingredients in the disaster stew. So you've got your antibiotics, they nuke your gut like it's wartime. You've got your acid blockers, they reduce stomach acid so food lingers for even longer and it ferments. You've got stress, slows the digestion, weakens motility, meaning your digestive muscles slow down, so food moves through the gut more slowly, more sluggishly than it should do, and it lets the bugs move in. Probiotics at the wrong time feed that chaos instead of fixing it, like I was doing, and even your kombucha could be part of the problem. But I eat so clean, organic, great. Gluten-free, cool, plant-based, fine, but if your gut is fermenting in the wrong place, even healthy foods are going to be making it worse. Chickpeas ferment, oats ferment, dates ferment, kefir ferments before you can even think about it. Not bad foods, but just bad timing. So chapter 10, it's time to clear the decks. So after years of managing and not really managing very well, I finally wiped the slate clean with Dr. Myhill's vitamin C flush and a carnivore-style elimination reset. Just was magic. No fibre, no fermentable carbs, no probiotics, just meat, fish, eggs, salt, water. And within days, the bloating just completely stopped. My head cleared, my energy came back, and the fat around my middle finally started shifting. Oh. So chapter 11, the protocol that finally fixed me. Now for the really juicy bit, what did I actually do? So step 1, the vitamin C flush. Now this is Dr. Sarah Myhill's protocol to flush the upper gut. Not in daily supplement quantities, a big one-time clean sweep through, although I did end up doing it a few times. The ascorbic acid helps to sterilise the upper gut and prevents fermentation of food, and any microbes which are inadvertently consumed with foods, they're killed as well. And acid further helps to digest the proteins and also helps the absorption of those essential minerals such as iron and zinc. Dr. Robert Cathcart was a similar advocate of high-dose vitamin C. And some helpful clinical details can be seen at the link I've put down below for vitamin C Foundation.org. This therapy has been around for a really long time. Another strong believer is Dr. Paul Marek from the Eastern Virginia Medical School in Norfolk, Virginia, in the States. And Dr. Marek added intravenous vitamin C to his normal antibiotic protocol for treating patients who'd been diagnosed with advanced sepsis and septic shock in his intensive care unit. Before using vitamin C, the mortality rate was 40%. Mortality in his clinic is now less than 1%. Vitamin C is also a proven benefit in treating COVID-19. I'll put some more references down in the description. So first off, you want to get yourself some ascorbic acid powder. It's really important that it's ascorbic acid, not ester C, not tablets, not Berocca, nothing with sugar in it, just ascorbic acid. I buy mine from Amazon. You mix 1 gram in water and down it like a shot every 15 minutes. This is the slow method because it might take you more than 50 grams like it did for me the first time. So, you know, taking 1 gram every 15 minutes, 4 grams an hour is going to take quite a lot of hours. And you want to do it when you're fasted. You want to do it when you first wake up in the morning on an empty stomach. There's nothing else in the way. The vitamin C can just get to work straight away. Alternatively, you can go for 5 to 10 grams as one single dose. So put it in warm water, stir it to dissolve and down the hatch, rinse it with fresh water to keep the acid off your teeth. It's very sour, but it's not worse than that. You can weigh it on digital scales if you have them. 5 grams is about a sort of flattish teaspoonful. If nothing happens after an hour, take another teaspoonful. Keep going. This is important because you want to keep going until you hit what Sarah calls bowel tolerance, aka a great big sudden bathroom moment, and then you stop. So once you've reached that point where everything's flushed out, then you just back the dose up so that you just keep flushing out just for the next 24 hours or so. You don't want to be like in the loo every 5 minutes, but you just want to keep things moving. So the first time I did it, it took me 50 grams, as I said. 50, not 50 milligrams or micrograms, 50 grams. That's over 2 ounces, or it's around about 2 ounces, is it? Yes. Plan a quiet day at home. Make sure you're near a loo. You can also use vitamin C in the event of any hint of infection, like a cold or a virus. Tickly throat, runny nose, sneezing, coughing, headache, heartache, feeling unwell, cystitis, a cold coming on. Just take 10 grams. Stay near the loo. If nothing happens within an hour, take another 10 grams and just keep going. And some people need 200 grams to get a result, which sounds like an awful lot. But if you think about, you wouldn't think too hard about eating a couple of big bars of chocolate with 200 grams of sugar in it. So vitamin C is a whole lot less harmful than sugar. So think about it in those terms. You have to find your sweet spot. I now take vitamin C every morning, about a teaspoonful, just enough to keep those bugs at bay, but also to just give me a well-formed bowel movement. Dr. Sarah says you want your number 2s to look like number 4 on the Bristol stool chart. And the key to vitamin C therapy is in the dose. We simply don't take enough of the stuff. I also take iodine. You need to take vitamin C and iodine away from each other because they cancel each other out. So I take my vitamin C now in the mornings, first thing when I wake up, and I take my iodine drops closer to lunchtime. Some people like to take them at bedtime. Doesn't matter, just don't take those 2 things together. Chapter 12, a carnivore-style reset. This isn't forever, it's just for a few weeks. No fermentable carbs equals no food for bad microbes. No fibre equals less irritation. So what can you eat? Meat, fish, eggs, salt, water, that's it really. What not to eat? Fibre, plant foods, probiotics, healthy snacks. It's not about restriction, it's about silence. It's about letting the gut rest. How long does it last for? 2 to 6 weeks for most people. You'll know when it is the right time for you, when the bloating vanishes, the cravings calm down, your sleep improves, your genes fit again, and your brain finally starts working again. And that happens pretty quickly. When you take the bad stuff out, then the magic happens. Then and only then, when all of those symptoms have gone for you, then you can start reintroducing other foods slowly, like re-entering society after a retreat. Look at this traditional Andoran church just behind me. Just really cool. I've no idea how old it is, but it looks pretty old. So, final thoughts. This isn't a diet and it's not punishment. It's a repair job. Your gut can recover, and when it does, everything else improves. Clear the bugs, reclaim your energy, and remember, it might be as simple as a scoop of vitamin C, a few weeks of steak and eggs, and the courage to do what no one else is telling you to do. So if you're ready to take this further and finally have a clear step-by-step action plan to heal your gut, balance your metabolism, and start to feel like yourself again, then check out my new course, Maximum Fat Loss, which is, all of this is covered in there in great detail, from digestive repair and sustainable fat loss with simple tools to help you reclaim your health and just change your habits one step at a time. So no overwhelm, it's all gradual, it's all in easy bite-sized steps. So please like and share and subscribe if you haven't done already. And if you're ready to fix your gut, reclaim your health like I did, lose the excess weight and start to feel like yourself again. Finally, apologies if you've subscribed to my newsletter and you haven't been receiving it. There's been a glitch with the platform that I use. I should have it sorted in the next couple of days. I sent it out to over 1,800 of you last week, and apparently 0.8% of you actually received it. So sorry about that. More tech issues, I will get them sorted. And in the meantime, if you like this video, you might like one of these two next. Till next time, cheerio. Remember, nourish, don't punish. And I will hopefully see you on my very next video. Cheerio for now from the most glorious day in Andorra. Till next time, bye-bye.